Good afternoon. So we're now in Bangkok, oh, there was just a crash. Shit. Oh, sorry. We'll start that again in a second. He's okay. He's okay. Right, anyway, we'll edit that bit out. Actually, our drinks are coming now. Thank you very much. Avocado, right, yuzu cold brew. Yeah. There's a decaf one, right? Decaf, yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, this is nice glass.
It's a beautiful glass. Yeah, it's got like a skin inside.
Yes.
It's like the glass inside the glass.
So. Nice.
I've got a lovely
like
avocado also. Anyway, sitting in Bangkok, enjoying a nice cold coffee now. A while ago when we were back in Shanghai, we had an incident which we didn't talk about in the previous video, in the Shanghai videos. I guess at the time it was a bit too raw. So now we can talk about it and laugh. So we arrived in Shanghai on the train, and well, when we looked at where the station we were going to, where the guest house was, we thought at the beginning that seems a little far from the center, but we thought, okay, you know, the public transport is very good in Shanghai, so shouldn't be a problem. So anyway, we got the train to the station, and then I looked on my maps where the guest house was, and it said on the maps it would take a 40-minute walk, and I thought that doesn't seem possible. But we walked and walked and walked, and yeah, it was about 40 minutes. Yeah, we walked. And when we arrived at the place on the map that it said it was, it actually turned out to be a car mechanic. Quite a large car mechanic. So we went into and asked one of the mechanics. Obviously they didn't speak any English and we didn't speak any Chinese, but we showed on the map, and then he sort of looked and said no, and then we showed him the address of the guest house, and he looked on his map and it was miles away. So oh, that's delicious. So we just thought, right, screw it, we'll just jump in a taxi, we'll show the taxi. It was lucky, yeah, we just arrived and there was a taxi there. So he took us to where this address was, and actually when we pulled up, it was like a gated community. It was just like a security gate and lots and lots and lots of high-rise apartment buildings. So again, our suspicions were a bit, you know, were raised, but we thought, okay, well, let's just go through the security gate. And we showed the address to the security guard to the gate, and he was like, oh yeah. You go round. So we were walking around and around and around, and asking various people, where is this address? Where is this address? Yeah, it's coming to us. So anyway, we were looking for this building. We had the building number, but on one side of the building it said one number, but on the other thing it said a different number. So we were confused as to which number was the correct one. Can I just point out, we arrived at Shanghai Station about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and by this time we were walking around and around. It was already dark, and it was ridiculous. It was bloody hot. We did finally find the building, and we pressed the number of the apartment into the intercom, and there was just some woman that was just answering, going hello, and we were like, something guest house, and they're like, oh. So we thought that was like the person in the guest house. So we got in the lift, we went up to the correct floor, and we thought, this is wrong, this is someone's apartment. Anyway, so we went back down, we spoke to the woman again, and she was like, oh, okay, go in. So we knocked on the door and this guy answered. And we said, is this the guest house? And he's like, yes.
No, he didn't say yes.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
What did he say?
He just said, oh, there is no space. So is it okay?
I'm getting to that. So he said,
He didn't say yes.
okay.
He said nothing.
Well, it was definitely the correct place because he said your booking. He said the bed that we booked in the guest house we couldn't have. So would it be okay to sleep in the kids' room that night? By this time we were so tired we just didn't care. It was like yeah, fine. So let us in, and it was just this guy's apartment. It wasn't a guest house. And he put us in this kid's room. It was his kid's room. I don't know where the kid was. And he just pretty much said, there you go, give us the money and have a nice time. And we just thought, like, we are in this kid's room, what do we do? You know, and by this point we were both thinking, this is really weird, this is not normal. We need to get out of here.
あとベトナムのチケットがあったからやばかったじゃん。それがすごい私ショックで、やばいって思って泣きそうだった。
Well, luckily we'd actually booked some train tickets to get to Vietnam, and we had to send it in the post. So we asked the train agency to send it to that address. And at first, and we said, do you have tickets? The tickets? And he said no at the beginning. We thought, oh my god, these tickets have gone somewhere in the post. Fortunately, later he came in with an envelope which was with our tickets. But you know, once we put our bags down and stuff, we wanted to go into, you know, go and eat something, go and see Shanghai. You know, we had the image of like going into Shanghai and having a good time, having some lovely food and have a few drinks. So I asked the guy, I said, where, how do we get to the station? And he said to me, the station is like 3 kilometers. I said, can I walk? He said, no. So I said, how do we get there? He said, oh, there's a bus from the security gate. Now we already got lost trying to get from the security gate. So it was quite late, so we thought, okay, can we at least go and get something to eat? Is there a restaurant around here? Oh, no restaurant. Is there anything we can eat around here? He said, oh yeah, there's a mini mart by the security gate. So that night, instead of having beautiful dumplings by the Hangpo River and, you know, sipping on a nice cocktail, we were eating instant noodles. Well, we bought instant noodles and I ate peanuts. That was my dinner. So I ate peanuts. And so we were just sleeping in this kid's bed that night. I've lost my tissue, I don't know where it's gone. So the next morning we were like, we have to get out of here. And so we got up out of the bed and we opened the door. We wanted to say to him, we're leaving, can we have our money back? And no one was there. Now, he told us that someone was sleeping in the room that we were supposed to have. We never saw these people and they weren't there either. So we were panicking a little bit because we didn't know where he'd gone. So we called the number on our booking confirmation, and a woman answered, and it was his wife who spoke a little bit of English. And we said, we're in your apartment and we want to leave. Can you come? And she said, oh, call my husband, here's the number, calls my husband. So she gives us a number, we call, and no one answers. We call back again, we tried and tried again, and we just couldn't get through to them. So we decided, let's just call booking.com and explain the situation and get them to do something. So we called booking.com. They were useless because we explained the situation, that we were not in a guest house. This was not a guest house, it was an apartment. We are trapped in someone's apartment. We couldn't get out. You know, can you sort it out for us? And they were just using typical company speak. Oh, have you contacted the front desk? There was no front desk. You know, have you spoken to the hotel manager? It's not a hotel, it's an apartment. And they just kept doing the same spiel. In the end, we were saying, look, call them. So to carry on where we left off, we were still stuck inside this guest house apartment. But after speaking to the useless people at booking.com, this was the Japanese booking.com, by the way, he said eventually, right, he's going to contact the hotel manager who wasn't at reception, and he was going to get in touch with them and get them to come back and talk to us. I said, how long will this take? He said, oh, well, can you call back in 20 minutes? I said, okay, but can I have your name because I want to talk to you? He said, oh, don't worry, I'm going to leave a note so you can talk to anyone. So we waited about 25 minutes, and then we called back, and of course it was someone different there, and they had no idea what we were talking about. So we had to go through the whole stuff again. I said, where is this person? What's happening? So we had to go through it all again. Eventually, they tell us that they contacted the person. He's at work, but he's going to come back, and he's going to give us some of our money back. And I couldn't believe it. Really, it was unbelievable.
もともとさ、中国のビザ取らなきゃいけなくて予約するときに急いでたからさ、ちゃんと
Anyway, so we waited about another 20 minutes, and lo and behold, there is the guy. His name was Victor, that's all I remember. Anyway, he charged us for that night, and he charged us one night cancellation fee. So we got like 2 nights worth money back. So in the end, it wasn't too bad in terms of like the money, but in terms of time, we lost the whole day, and stress as well. Anyway, he said to us, oh, how come you're leaving early? He said, are you leaving Shanghai? And of course I didn't want to say to him, actually, we don't want to be here, we want to go somewhere else in Shanghai. So we just said to him, actually, yeah, we decided to leave Shanghai and go somewhere else early. So we left, we got our money back, we left the room, we left the house, and when we got to the bottom of the floor, we opened the doors back to outside. Really, it felt like we'd been released from prison. It was just such a liberating feeling that we weren't in that guest house anymore. And then while we were waiting for Victor to turn up, we actually booked another place in the center of Shanghai, which was really lovely. Yeah, it was actually really lucky, yeah. So in the end, we really enjoyed Shanghai. When we booked that place, the reason we booked it was because we had to go and get the Chinese visa for me. So we really didn't look closely enough. We were just rushing and just booked place, that'll do, so that we had places to show that the embassy, the Chinese embassy, that we had places to stay. Had we looked more closely at the reviews, the first review on there, well, the reason we chose it actually had very good reviews, but actually the first review said on there, please be careful, this place is 1.5 hours from the center of Shanghai. Had we actually looked at the actual reviews, we probably wouldn't have booked that place. It just had very good reviews. So yeah, that was our experience of our first day in Shanghai. Hopefully never to be repeated. And in the end, like I said, we had a really nice time in Shanghai. And I'd recommend Shanghai to anyone, just not that guest house. If you see a guest house, if you're booking a place in Shanghai and you see a guest house with very good reviews, but looks a little bit far out of Shanghai, do not get it if you want to enjoy the center of Shanghai. Anyway, that was our story, and a little warning for the future.